I mean, one of the issues to throw into the mix is that there is a tremendous amount of public benefit for religions to flourish in societies. So when you look at the studies, you see that those who have an intrinsic religiosity, that is, those who identify as religion's the most important thing to me, it helps me to frame the rest of my life. If you ask those people on any kinds of measures of reproduction, how many babies do you have? Longer life? Are you happier? Will you have more of a resistance to depression, to recovery from illness, recovery from surgery? Do you have a resistance to divorce, to suicide? There are any number of factors where an intrinsic religiosity, that is, a body of people who are saying that their religion means the world to them, those people thrive in a world where if the government was able to put that into the water, if they were able to put a magic elixir into the water that could deliver those benefits, longer life, for goodness sakes, happier, healthier, they give more money to charity. They give more money to secular charities than secular people do. They give more time to secular charities than secular people do. They give more blood than secular people give. All these things have been demonstrated in thousands of studies. So, throw that into the mix as a government is looking at what will lead to the flourishing of society, what could make society better. Actually, intrinsic religiosity is something that could definitely do that. So,
and see, here's where we get to disagreement. But it's going to be difficult, because I don't have access to go look at studies and everything else. But if you do a Google search for religiosity versus societal health, there's a study that was done years ago that was in the Journal of Religious Education. So I'm going to get
2005. Is it Gregory S. Paul?
Yes, Gregory S. Paul.
Yeah,
which
paleontologist.
Shows something different. But
yeah,
in any
he's
case,
a paleontologist who was actually hacked off with creationists. You go to Wikipedia and you find Gregory S. Paul.
But that's all about Gregory S. Paul. I'm talking about his data.
You've been quoting him for 15 years, though.
I know, but I'm quoting his data, not him.
Yeah, but he's one study against thousands of others, and he swims against a tide of literally 89% of the studies show that everything goes in the other direction. He did a univariate analysis about secularity and how it relates to public benefits.
Sure, and I'm not saying that
he cherry-picked his results.
Oh, all right. Well, see, now we're in a different thing, because if we're going to start making accusations that his study's not wrong, or is not good because he cherry-picked it, I have problems with the other studies.
I'm not aware of the study, so could you just explain what's in the study, just so that
that's the thing. Without saying this isn't what I came in prepared to discuss, so I don't want to get the study wrong. The point I'm making is that
you've been getting it wrong for 15 years.
I've been getting what wrong for 15 years? What his study says?
His study is a univariate analysis of how secularity within European countries is indexed to a whole different number of things, like murder rates and that kind of thing. He didn't look at other things like crime rates and that sort of thing, because it didn't help his analysis.
Sure, so you are pointing to problems that you have with his methodology, but that's not me getting wrong what his report says.
Why are you camping out on his study when literally there are thousands of studies that show the benefits of religion?
Well, I was getting to that a minute ago.
Okay.
Because a number of the things that in the studies that you would cite, I would also have a problem with their methodology. Because when you talk about, first of all, you've got the issue of self-reporting. How happy are you? And we know, for example, especially from ex-Mormons, that groups like Mormon culture encourage people to, because they are representatives of the church, to present themselves as happier when less problematic. Now, who knows what the actual truth is there? And I'm not saying what the truth is. What I'm saying is there's an issue with self-reporting. There's also an issue with what is the real foundation here? Is it that they are religious, which, by the way, is independent from the truth of the religious proposition? That's why the challenge that I had for years was show me a real, true benefit of religion that is necessarily only produced by the truth of that religion. Because you can produce those same things with a compelling lie. If you've got five religions and only one of them is true, but all five of those people, religious individuals or people who are adherents to those are reporting that they're better and happier and these other things, then it has nothing to do with the truth of the religion. It has to do with who we are. And it may be the case that what people need is the community, which religions have done a really good job of building those communities. And it's one of the things that secular organizations are working towards doing now, building stronger communities. But we had to fight for just the right to exist and be open and talk about this before we could get to a point of building those sorts of communities.
I mean, it's interesting. We've gone to this area of what is the value of religion, Christianity specifically, I suppose, in your case, Glenn. I mean, are you saying that the science seems to suggest that actually there's something about doing the things of religion, whether it be the community aspect, but also, I suppose, the ritual, the belief, the prayer, that is in some way we're kind of made for, in some way psychologically, that is our natural state, whereas you don't think that's the case with someone who adopts an atheist perspective on the world?
I think you can go there and you can make the argument that this seems to fit the human person better, therefore it might be more likely to be true. You could go there, but before you even go there, I think it's important that this difference between intrinsic religiosity and extrinsic religiosity is kind of
just explain what
teased
those
out.
two terms are.
So intrinsic religiosity is you don't treat religion like a means to an end, so your wife goes to church, and so you go to church too, just to keep her happy. That would be extrinsic religiosity.
Okay.
Or you like the community, or the pastor's not such a bad guy, and you guys go bowling on a Friday, and that's fine. That would be extrinsic religiosity. But the key question that would identify you as intrinsically religious would be, this is the most important thing to my life, or this is what helps me frame the rest of my decisions, or that kind of thing. And it's that seems to make the difference. So not just that you have community, but that you seem to be oriented towards something that is higher, something that is transcendent. That seems to give that added effect.
And I wouldn't even dispute that.